Olivia, I need you to have my baby. The words hung in the air like a bomb that had just exploded. Olivia Mason dropped her teacup, and it shattered on the marble floor of Sebastian Wright's luxurious penthouse apartment. Her green eyes went wide with shock as she stared at her best friend of 20 years. Sebastian stood by the huge window overlooking London, his hands shaking as he held a piece of paper. His usually perfect dark hair was messy, like he had been running his fingers through it all day. His expensive suit was wrinkled, and his blue eyes were red from crying. "What did you just say?" Olivia whispered, her voice barely audible. Sebastian turned around, and she could see tears rolling down his cheeks. This was the same man who had built a hotel empire worth millions. The same man who never showed weakness to anyone. But here he was breaking down in front of her. "I said I need you to have my baby, Olivia. I'm dying inside, and this might be my only chance. Where are you watching from? Let me know in the comments below. But let me take you back to where this all started, because what happened next will shock you even more." 3 hours earlier, Olivia had been sitting in her small but cozy library office, surrounded by books and the smell of old paper. She loved her job as a librarian. It was quiet, peaceful, and she could help people find the stories they needed. At 28, she had never been in love, never been kissed, and had chosen to stay a virgin until she found someone who truly loved her. Her phone buzzed. It was a text from Sebastian. "Emergency. Come to my place now. Please." Olivia's heart started beating fast. Sebastian never asked for help. He was always the one helping others. Something must be terribly wrong. She grabbed her coat and rushed out of the library. The cold London air hit her face as she ran to catch a taxi. During the 20-minute ride to Sebastian's penthouse, her mind raced with worry. Was he hurt? Was someone trying to hurt him? Had something happened to his business? Sebastian and Olivia had been best friends since they were 8 years old. They met in school when some older kids were bullying Olivia for being quiet and loving books. Sebastian had stepped in to protect her, even though he was smaller than the bullies. From that day on, they had been inseparable. While Sebastian grew up to become confident and successful, Olivia remained shy and gentle. She loved reading stories about love and adventure, but she was too scared to have her own adventures. Sebastian had always protected her from the world, and she had always been his safe place when the world became too much. When Olivia arrived at Sebastian's building, the doorman let her up immediately. He knew her well. She had been coming here for years. The elevator ride to the top floor felt like forever. Her hands were sweating, and she kept pressing the button even though it was already lit up. The elevator doors opened, and she ran down the hallway to Sebastian's door. She knocked hard and fast. "Sebastian, it's me. Open up." The door opened, and Sebastian stood there looking like a ghost. His face was pale, his eyes were empty, and he looked like he hadn't slept in days. "Olivia," he said, his voice breaking. "Thank God you came." He pulled her into a tight hug, and she could feel his whole body shaking. This scared her more than anything. Sebastian was always strong, always in control. To see him like this made her heart break. "What's wrong?" she asked, pulling back to look at his face. "You're scaring me." Sebastian led her to his living room, where expensive furniture sat perfectly arranged. But today, there were papers scattered everywhere, and empty coffee cups on every table. It looked like he had been living in chaos. "Sit down," he said, pointing to the leather couch. "I need to tell you something, and it's going to change everything." Olivia sat down, her heart pounding so hard she could hear it in her ears. Sebastian sat across from her, holding a white envelope with a doctor's name on it. "I went to the doctor last week," he began, his voice quiet and shaky. "I've been having some problems. Pain, weakness, things that weren't normal." Olivia's blood ran cold. "What kind of problems?" Sebastian took a deep breath. "They ran tests, lots of tests. And yesterday, I got the results." He held up the paper from the envelope. His hands were shaking so badly that Olivia could hear the paper rattling. "I have a condition," he continued. "It's not cancer, but it's It's going to make me unable to have children. Soon. Maybe in a few months, maybe in a year, but it's going to happen. Olivia felt like the world had stopped spinning. Sebastian, no? The doctors say there might be treatments, but they're not sure. And even if the treatments work, they might not work forever. If I want to have children, I need to do it now. Soon. Before it's too late. Tears started falling down Olivia's cheeks. She had always imagined Sebastian having a family someday. He would be such a good father. He was kind, patient, and loving. The idea that he might never have children felt cruel and unfair. But you're young, she said, trying to find hope. You're only 30. You have time to find someone, get married, have a family the normal way. Sebastian laughed, but it was a bitter, sad laugh. The normal way? Olivia, I don't have time for normal. I don't have time to date, fall in love, get married, and then try to have kids. The doctors say I have maybe 6 months before the condition gets worse. Then we'll find you someone quickly, Olivia said, her mind racing. There are dating apps, matchmaking services. You're rich, handsome, successful. Any woman would be lucky to have you. Sebastian stood up and walked to the window. I don't want just any woman, Olivia. I want someone I trust, someone I love, someone who loves me back. Then we'll find her, Olivia said, standing up too. We'll find the perfect woman for you. Sebastian turned around, and the look in his eyes made Olivia's heart stop. It was a look she had never seen before. Desperate, hopeful, and terrifying all at once. I already found her, he said quietly. I found her 20 years ago. Olivia's mouth went dry. What do you mean? Sebastian walked toward her slowly, like he was afraid she might run away. Olivia, you're the only woman I've ever truly loved. You're the only one I trust completely. You're the only one who knows me, really knows me, and still chooses to be in my life. Sebastian, what are you saying? I'm saying that if I'm going to have a child, I want it to be with you. I want you to be the mother of my child. Olivia felt dizzy. She sat back down on the couch, her head spinning. But we're just friends. Best friends. We've never. I know, Sebastian said, kneeling down in front of her. I know we've never been romantic. I know this is crazy. But Olivia, I'm running out of time, and I can't imagine having a child with anyone else. But I don't understand, Olivia said, her voice getting higher. Are you asking me to be your girlfriend? Your wife? What are you asking me? Sebastian looked down at his hands. I'm asking you to help me have a baby. I'm asking you to be with me intimately so that we can create a life together. I'm asking you to carry my child. Olivia stood up so fast that Sebastian almost fell backward. You're asking me to have sex with you and get pregnant? Yes, Sebastian said, his voice barely a whisper. I'm asking you to give me the greatest gift anyone has ever given me. The gift of a child. The gift of a family. But Sebastian, I'm a virgin, Olivia said, her cheeks turning red. I've been saving myself for someone who loves me, really loves me, not just as a friend, but as a woman. Sebastian's eyes filled with tears again. I do love you, Olivia. I love you more than anyone in this world. I love you so much that I would rather have a child with you than with anyone else, even if it means we're not in a romantic relationship. So you want me to give you my virginity, get pregnant, and then what? Just be your friend who happens to have had your baby. Sebastian looked like she had slapped him. I don't know. I haven't thought that far ahead. I just know that I need this, Olivia. I need to have a child, and I need it to be with you. Olivia started pacing around the room, her mind racing. This was her Sebastian, her best friend, asking her to do something that would change her life forever. He was asking her to give up her virginity, get pregnant, and have a baby with him, all while staying just friends. This is insane, she said, running her hands through her brown hair. This is completely insane, Sebastian. You're asking me to completely change my life, my body, my future, for you. I know, Sebastian said, standing up. I know it's a lot to ask. I know it's not fair. But Olivia, I'm desperate. I'm scared. I might never get another chance to be a father. But what about me? Olivia asked, turning to face him. What about what I want? What about my dreams of falling in love, getting married, having children with someone who loves me romantically? Sebastian looked like he was about to be sick. You can still have that. After the baby is born, you can still find love, get married, have more children. This doesn't have to ruin your life. Doesn't have to ruin my life? Olivia's voice was getting louder. Sebastian, you're asking me to have a baby with you and then just… What? Hand it over and walk away? Pretend it never happened. No, Sebastian said quickly. No, I would never ask you to walk away. You would be the mother. The baby would need you. I would need you. We would raise the child together as friends, as partners in parenting. But not as lovers. Not as a couple. Sebastian's silence was the loudest answer he could have given. Olivia felt tears streaming down her face. So let me get this straight. You want me to give you my virginity, get pregnant, have your baby, and then spend the rest of my life being your friend and co-parent, but never your girlfriend or wife? I don't know, Sebastian said, his voice breaking. I don't know how it would work. I just know that I need this, and I need it to be with you. Why me? Olivia asked. Why not hire a surrogate? Why not find someone who actually wants to have a baby with no strings attached? Sebastian walked over to her and took her hands in his. Because I love you, Olivia. Because I trust you. Because I want my child to have the best mother in the world. And that's you. Because I want my child to come from love, even if it's not romantic love. Olivia looked into his blue eyes and saw 20 years of friendship, protection, and care. She saw the little boy who had stood up to bullies for her. She saw the teenager who had helped her with homework and drove her to school every day. She saw the man who had celebrated every one of her achievements and comforted her through every heartbreak. But she also saw something else in his eyes. Something that made her heart skip a beat and her breath catch in her throat. Something that looked almost like… Sebastian, she whispered. Is there something you're not telling me? Sebastian's face went pale, and he dropped her hands like they had burned him. What do you mean? I mean, is this really just about having a baby? Or is there something more? Sebastian turned away from her, his shoulders tense. I don't know what you're talking about. Look at me, Olivia said firmly. Look at me and tell me that this is just about having a baby. Sebastian slowly turned around, and when their eyes met, Olivia saw the truth. She saw 20 years of hidden feelings, suppressed emotions, and unspoken love. She saw a man who wasn't just asking his friend to have his baby, but a man who was asking the woman he loved to be with him in the only way he thought she would agree to. Oh my God, Olivia whispered. You're in love with me. Sebastian's face crumpled, and he nodded. I've been in love with you since we were 18, Olivia. I've been in love with you for 10 years. And I never said anything because I was scared of losing you. And now you're using this situation to try to be with me? No, Sebastian said quickly. No, it's not like that. I really do need to have a child soon. That part is true. But you're right, I could hire a surrogate or find someone else. I'm asking you because I love you, and I want my child to be made from that love. But you're not asking me to be your girlfriend. You're not asking me to marry you. You're asking me to have your baby and then just… What? Continue being your friend. Sebastian ran his hands through his hair. I don't know, Olivia. I don't know what I'm asking. I just know that I'm running out of time, and I can't imagine doing this with anyone else. Olivia sat back down on the couch, her mind spinning. Sebastian was in love with her, had been for 10 years, and now he was asking her to have his baby. But he wasn't asking her to be his girlfriend or his wife. He was asking her to give him everything, her body, her virginity, her future, while offering her nothing in return except friendship and co-parenting. This is wrong, she said quietly. This is all wrong, Sebastian. I know, he said, sitting down beside her. I know it's wrong. I know it's not fair to you, but I'm desperate, Olivia. I'm scared that if I don't do this now, I'll never get another chance. But what about me? Olivia asked, tears falling down her cheeks. What about my chance to fall in love? To get married? To have a normal family? You can still have that, Sebastian said, but his voice didn't sound convincing. After the baby is born, you can still find love. With a child that's not theirs? With a baby that ties me to you forever? What man is going to want to deal with that? Sebastian looked like he was about to cry again. I don't know. I don't know how any of this would work. I just know that I need this, and I need it to be with you. Olivia stood up and walked to the window. The sun was setting over London, painting the sky in shades of pink and orange. She thought about her quiet life at the library, her small apartment, her simple dreams. She thought about the novels she loved to read, where women fell in love with men who loved them back completely, where happy endings were possible. If I do this, she said quietly, not turning around, what happens to us? What happens to our friendship? I don't know, Sebastian said honestly. I don't know how this would change things between us. And what happens if I say no? Sebastian was quiet for a long moment. Then I'll respect your decision. I'll never ask again. And I'll try to find another way. But you'll always resent me for saying no. No, Sebastian said firmly. I could never resent you, Olivia. I could never hate you for protecting yourself. Olivia turned around to face him. But things would never be the same between us, would they? Sebastian looked down at his hands. Probably not. So either way, I lose my best friend. Maybe, Sebastian said, or maybe we find a way to make this work. Maybe we find a way to be even closer. Or maybe we destroy everything we've built together. Sebastian stood up and walked over to her. Olivia, I would never want to hurt you. You're the most important person in my life. If you say no, I'll understand. I'll be disappointed, but I'll understand. But you'll also be heartbroken. I'm already heartbroken, Sebastian said. I'm heartbroken about the diagnosis, about the time limit, about spending 10 years loving you in secret. What's one more heartbreak? Olivia felt fresh tears falling down her cheeks. Don't say that. Don't act like your feelings don't matter. They matter, Sebastian said. But yours matter more. Your happiness matters more. Your future matters more. Then why are you asking me to give up my future for you? Sebastian looked like she had hit him. I'm not asking you to give up your future. I'm asking you to share it with me. To help me create a life, a family, something beautiful together. But not as your wife, not as your girlfriend, just as your friend who happens to have had your baby. Sebastian's silence said everything. Olivia walked away from him, her heart breaking. This was Sebastian, her best friend, the man she trusted more than anyone in the world. He was asking her to give him everything while offering her nothing but friendship in return. He was asking her to sacrifice her dreams, her body, her future, for his chance at fatherhood. But he was also the man who had protected her for 20 years. The man who had never let her down, never betrayed her trust, never asked her for anything she couldn't give. Until now. I need time, she said, not looking at him. I need time to think about this. How much time? Sebastian asked, his voice desperate. I don't know. A few days. A week. I need to think about what this would mean for my life, for my future, for us. Sebastian nodded. Okay, take all the time you need. But Sebastian, Olivia said, turning to face him, I need you to understand something. If I do this, if I agree to have your baby, I'm not just agreeing to get pregnant. I'm agreeing to change my entire life. I'm agreeing to give up my dreams of falling in love and getting married normally. I'm agreeing to be tied to you forever. I know, Sebastian said quietly, and I need you to understand that I can't do this just as your friend. I can't give you my body, my virginity, my future, and then just pretend like nothing happened. I can't be intimate with you and then go back to being just friends. Sebastian's eyes widened. What are you saying? I'm saying that if I do this, if I agree to have your baby, I need more than friendship from you. I need you to want me as more than just a friend. I need you to want me as a woman, as a partner, as someone you could actually love romantically. Sebastian's face went pale. Olivia, I need you to choose me, Olivia continued, her voice getting stronger. Not just as the mother of your child, but as the woman you want to spend your life with. I need you to choose me fully, completely, not just as a convenience. Sebastian stared at her, his mouth open. Are you saying? I'm saying that I won't be your friend with benefits. I won't be your baby mama. If you want me to do this, you have to want me. All of me. Forever. Sebastian's eyes filled with tears. Olivia, I do want you. I want you so much it hurts. But I was scared to ask for that. I was scared you'd say no. So you thought it would be easier to ask me to have your baby without offering me love in return? I thought it would be easier for you to say yes if I didn't complicate things with my feelings. Olivia laughed, but it wasn't a happy laugh. Sebastian, you've been in love with me for 10 years. You're asking me to have your baby. How much more complicated could things get? Sebastian walked over to her and took her hands again. You're right. I've been an idiot. I've been a coward. I should have told you how I felt years ago. Yes, you should have. And I should have asked you to be my girlfriend before asking you to have my baby. Yes, you should have. So I'm asking you now, Sebastian said, getting down on one knee. Olivia Mason, will you be my girlfriend? Will you let me love you the way I've wanted to love you for 10 years? Olivia looked down at him, her heart pounding. And then what? After I say yes to being your girlfriend, you'll ask me to have your baby. I'm asking you to be my girlfriend, my partner, my everything. I'm asking you to build a life with me, starting with this baby. But what if I can't get pregnant right away? What if it takes months? What if it never happens? Sebastian stood up and cupped her face in his hands. Then we'll face that together, as partners, as people who love each other. And if I do get pregnant, what then? Then we'll raise our child together, as a family, as parents who love each other. And marriage? Sebastian smiled for the first time all day. Olivia Mason, if you'll have me, I want to marry you. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. I want to wake up next to you every morning and fall asleep holding you every night. I want to build a family with you, a life with you, a future with you. Olivia felt her heart racing. This was what she had always dreamed of. A man who loved her completely, who wanted to spend his life with her. But it was also terrifying. She was being asked to make the biggest decision of her life in the middle of a crisis. This is all happening so fast, she said, pulling back from him. A few hours ago, we were just friends. Now you're talking about marriage and babies and forever. I know it's fast, Sebastian said. But Olivia, I don't have time to take this slow. I don't have time to date you for a year before proposing. I don't have time to be engaged for another year before we start trying for a baby. I need to know if you're willing to take this journey with me. Starting now. Olivia walked back to the couch and sat down. Her mind was spinning with questions, fears, and possibilities. She loved Sebastian, had always loved him as a friend. But romantic love? Sexual love? She had never allowed herself to think about him that way. Can I ask you something? She said. Anything. When you look at me, do you see me as a woman? Not just your friend, but as a woman you're attracted to. Sebastian's cheeks turned red. Olivia, I've been attracted to you since we were teenagers. I've spent years trying to ignore it, trying to pretend I only saw you as a friend. But yes, I see you as a woman. A beautiful, intelligent, amazing woman that I want to be with in every way possible. But you've never made a move. You've never flirted with me, never tried to kiss me, never given me any sign that you saw me as more than a friend. Because I was scared, Sebastian said, sitting down beside her. I was scared of ruining our friendship. I was scared you'd reject me and I'd lose you completely. So you spent 10 years suffering in silence? I spent 10 years loving you in the only way I thought I could. As your friend, as your protector, as someone who would always be there for you. Olivia looked at him, really looked at him. For the first time in years, she saw his strong jawline, his kind blue eyes, his broad shoulders. She saw the man who had grown up beside her, who had become successful and confident and handsome. She saw someone who could have had any woman he wanted, but had chosen to love her instead. "Sebastian," she said quietly, "if we do this, if we become a couple and try to have a baby, there's no going back. We can't just be friends again if it doesn't work out." "I know," Sebastian said. "I don't want to go back. I want to move forward with you. But what if I'm not good at being a girlfriend? What if I'm not good at being intimate? What if I disappoint you?" Sebastian took her hands in his. "Olivia, you could never disappoint me. I've loved you for 10 years just as my friend. Imagine how much more I'll love you as my partner. And the baby? What if I'm not good at being a mother? Then we'll learn together. We'll figure it out together. We'll make mistakes and fix them together." Olivia felt tears falling down her cheeks again. "I'm scared, Sebastian. I'm scared of changing everything. I'm scared of losing what we have." "What we have is beautiful," Sebastian said, wiping away her tears. "But what we could have is even more beautiful. We could have love, real love. We could have a family. We could have a life together. But what if?" Sebastian kissed her. It was soft, gentle, and full of 20 years of friendship and 10 years of hidden love. When he pulled back, Olivia's eyes were wide with shock. "I'm sorry," he said quickly. "I shouldn't have done that without asking." But Olivia wasn't angry. She was surprised, confused, and something else she couldn't name. "I've never been kissed before," she whispered. "I know," Sebastian said. "I'm honored to be your first. Was it okay?" Sebastian smiled. "It was perfect. You're perfect." Olivia touched her lips, still feeling the warmth of his kiss. "I don't know what to say." "Say you'll think about it," Sebastian said. "Say you'll consider building a life with me." "I need conditions," Olivia said suddenly. "What kind of conditions?" "If I agree to this, if I agree to be your girlfriend and try to have your baby, I need to know that you want me for more than just convenience. I need to know that you would choose me even if you had all the time in the world." "I would choose you if I had forever," Sebastian said immediately. "I would choose you in any timeline, in any situation, in any world. And I need to know that this isn't just about the baby. I need to know that you want to be with me even if we can't have children. I want to be with you no matter what," Sebastian said. "The baby would be a blessing, but you're the real gift. You're what I really want. And I need time to fall in love with you," Olivia said. "I need time to learn how to be your girlfriend, your partner, your lover. I can't just flip a switch and become everything you need me to be." "We'll take it one day at a time," Sebastian said. "We'll learn together. And if I can't do it, if I can't be what you need," Sebastian cupped her face in his hands, "then we'll figure it out. Together. But Olivia, I already know you're everything I need. You've been everything I need for 20 years. Olivia closed her eyes and leaned into his touch. "This is the craziest thing I've ever considered doing. Is that a yes?" "It's a maybe," Olivia said, opening her eyes. "It's a terrified, confused, overwhelmed maybe." Sebastian smiled. "I'll take a maybe. A maybe is more than I hoped for." "But Sebastian," Olivia said, her voice serious, "if we do this, if we really do this, I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me that you'll never regret asking me. Promise me that no matter what happens, you'll never wish you had asked someone else instead." Sebastian's eyes filled with tears. "Olivia, I could never regret asking you. I could never wish I had asked anyone else. You're the only woman I've ever loved, and you're the only woman I'll ever love." "How can you be so sure?" "Because I've had 10 years to think about it. I've had 10 years to imagine what it would be like to be with you. I've had 10 years to dream about this moment. And now that it's here, I know I was right to wait. I know I was right to love you." Olivia felt her heart swelling with emotion. "I need a few days to think about this. Take all the time you need." "But Sebastian?" "Yeah. Thank you for finally telling me how you feel. Thank you for being brave enough to ask for what you want." Sebastian kissed her forehead. "Thank you for not running away. Thank you for considering this crazy idea." As Olivia got ready to leave, she turned back to look at Sebastian one more time. He was standing by the window again, looking out at the city lights. He looked vulnerable, hopeful, and scared all at once. Sebastian. Yeah, I love you too. I don't know if it's the same kind of love you feel for me, but I love you. I've always loved you. Sebastian turned around, his face lighting up with joy. That's all I need to know. That's all I need to hold on to while you're thinking. As Olivia walked out of Sebastian's apartment, her mind was racing with possibilities. She was 28 years old, a virgin, and her best friend, who was secretly in love with her, had just asked her to have his baby. He had also asked her to be his girlfriend, his partner, his wife. But as she stepped into the elevator, she realized that Sebastian hadn't actually told her the whole truth. There was something in his eyes, something in the way he had hesitated when she asked certain questions, that made her think he was still hiding something. What she didn't know was that Sebastian's condition was worse than he had told her. The doctors hadn't given him 6 months. They had given him 3, and if he didn't act soon, he wouldn't just lose his chance at fatherhood. He might lose his chance at life itself. But that revelation was still to come, and when Olivia discovered the truth, everything would change forever. 3 days had passed since Sebastian's shocking confession, and Olivia hadn't slept more than a few hours each night. She kept replaying their conversation over and over in her mind, trying to make sense of everything that had happened. She sat in her small apartment, surrounded by the romance novels she loved to read. Stories about love, marriage, and happy endings. But none of those stories had prepared her for this situation. None of those heroines had been asked by their best friend to have his baby while he was facing a medical crisis. Olivia had made a list of pros and cons, like she always did when making big decisions. But this wasn't the kind of decision that could be made with logic. This was about love, fear, hope, and the terrifying possibility of losing everything she had ever known. Her phone buzzed. It was another text from Sebastian. Just checking in. No pressure. Take all the time you need. I love you. He had been texting her every day, but he hadn't tried to pressure her or rush her decision. He was giving her space, just like he had promised. But Olivia could feel the urgency behind his words. She could sense that he was scared, desperate, and running out of time. She decided to call her older sister, Emma, who lived in Manchester with her husband and 2 children. Emma was the only person who knew about Olivia's feelings for Sebastian, even though Olivia had never admitted them out loud. Olivia, Emma answered on the second ring. I was just thinking about you. How are you doing? I need to tell you something, Olivia said, her voice shaking. Something big has happened. What is it? You sound upset. Olivia took a deep breath and told Emma everything. About Sebastian's diagnosis, his request, his confession of love, and the impossible decision she was facing. Emma was quiet for a long moment after Olivia finished talking. Wow, she finally said. That's a lot to process. I don't know what to do, Olivia said, tears starting to fall. I love him, Emma. I think I've always loved him, but I was too scared to admit it. And now he's asking me to completely change my life for him. But he's also offering you everything you've ever wanted, Emma said gently. Love, marriage, a family. Isn't that what you've been dreaming about? Yes, but not like this. Not in a crisis. Not with a deadline hanging over our heads. Olivia, can I ask you something? Of course. If Sebastian wasn't sick, if he had just told you he loved you and asked you to be his girlfriend, what would you have said? Olivia thought about it. I would have said yes. I would have been scared, but I would have said yes. And if he had proposed to you after dating for a while, I would have said yes to that too. And if he had asked you to have children with him? Yes, Olivia whispered. I would have said yes to all of it. Then what's really stopping you now? Olivia was quiet for a moment. I'm scared that he only wants me because it's convenient. I'm scared that if he had more time, he would choose someone else. Did he say that? No. He said he would choose me no matter what. He said he's been in love with me for 10 years. Then believe him, Emma said. Olivia, sometimes love doesn't happen the way we plan. Sometimes it happens in the middle of a crisis. Sometimes it happens when we're scared and desperate and running out of time. That doesn't make it less real. But what if I'm not good enough? What if I can't be what he needs? You've been what he needs for 20 years, Emma said. Why would that change now? After they hung up, Olivia felt slightly better. Emma was right, she had been overthinking this. If she loved Sebastian and he loved her, then maybe they could make this work. Maybe they could build something beautiful together, even under these circumstances. She decided to go see Sebastian and tell him her decision. She was going to say yes. She was going to take the leap and trust that love would be enough. But when she arrived at his building, she noticed an ambulance parked outside. Her heart started racing as she ran toward the entrance. "Excuse me," she said to one of the paramedics. "What happened? Is someone hurt?" "Someone from the penthouse," the paramedic said. "Medical emergency. We're taking him to St. Mary's Hospital." Olivia's blood ran cold. "The penthouse? Sebastian, right? Are you family?" I'm his girlfriend," Olivia said, the words feeling strange in her mouth. "Is he okay? What happened?" The paramedic looked at her with sympathy. "He collapsed. We're not sure what caused it, but we need to get him to the hospital right away." Olivia followed the ambulance to the hospital, her hands shaking as she drove. She kept thinking about their last conversation, about how he had looked tired and pale. Had his condition gotten worse? Had something happened that he hadn't told her about? At the hospital, she ran to the emergency room. "I'm looking for Sebastian, right?" she told the nurse at the desk. "He was just brought in by ambulance." "Are you family?" the nurse asked. "I'm his girlfriend," Olivia said again, still not used to the words. The nurse looked at her computer. "He's in room 3. The doctor will be with you shortly." Olivia hurried to room 3, where she found Sebastian lying in a hospital bed, looking even paler than before. His eyes were closed, and he had wires and tubes attached to him. "Sebastian," she whispered, taking his hand. I'm here. His eyes fluttered open. "Olivia? You came." "Of course I came. What happened? Are you okay?" Sebastian tried to sit up, but Olivia gently pushed him back down. "I'm fine. Just a little episode. Nothing to worry about." "Nothing to worry about?" Olivia's voice was getting higher. "You collapsed. You're in the hospital. How is that nothing to worry about?" Before Sebastian could answer, a doctor walked into the room. He was an older man with gray hair and kind eyes. "Ms. Mason," he said, "I'm Dr. Harrison. I've been treating Sebastian." "Is he okay?" Olivia asked immediately. "What happened?" Dr. Harrison looked at Sebastian, who nodded weakly. "You can tell her," Sebastian said. "She needs to know." "Know what?" Olivia asked, her heart starting to race again. Dr. Harrison pulled up a chair. "Sebastian collapsed because his condition is progressing faster than we expected. The treatment isn't working as well as we hoped." "What does that mean?" Olivia asked, though she was afraid of the answer. "It means we need to be more aggressive with treatment. It means the timeline we gave him has changed." "Changed how?" Dr. Harrison looked at Sebastian again, who nodded. "Instead of 6 months, we're looking at maybe 6 weeks. Maybe less." Olivia felt like the world had stopped spinning. 6 weeks? 6 weeks for what? 6 weeks before his fertility is permanently affected, Dr. Harrison said gently. 6 weeks before other complications arise. Other complications? Olivia's voice was barely a whisper. Sebastian reached for her hand. "Olivia, I need to tell you something. The condition I have, it's not just about fertility. It's more serious than I told you." "How much more serious?" Sebastian's eyes filled with tears. "If we don't treat it aggressively, it could affect my heart, my liver, other organs." "Are you saying you could die?" Olivia asked, her voice breaking. "I'm saying that time is more important than I let on." Olivia stood up so fast that her chair fell backward. "You lied to me. You told me you had 6 months. I didn't want to scare you," Sebastian said. "I didn't want you to feel pressured to say yes just because things might get worse. But you are getting worse." Olivia was crying now. "You're getting worse, and you didn't tell me." I was going to tell you, Sebastian said. I was going to tell you everything once you made your decision. Once I made my decision? Sebastian, this changes everything. This changes the entire situation. Dr. Harrison stood up. I'll give you two some privacy, he said, leaving the room. Olivia started pacing around the small hospital room. I can't believe this. I can't believe you lied to me. I didn't lie, Sebastian said. I didn't tell you everything. That's the same thing. Olivia turned to face him. You let me think I had time to make this decision. You let me think this was just about having a baby. You didn't tell me that you could actually die. Because I didn't want that to influence your decision, Sebastian said. I wanted you to say yes because you love me, not because you feel sorry for me. But now I don't know if I can trust you, Olivia said. If you can lie about something this important, what else are you lying about? Sebastian tried to sit up again. I'm not lying about anything else. I'm not lying about loving you. I'm not lying about wanting to spend my life with you. What life, Sebastian? If you only have 6 weeks before things get worse, what kind of life can we have together? We can have whatever life we make, Sebastian said. We can have 6 weeks or 6 months or 6 years or 60 years. The doctors don't know for sure what's going to happen. But they know it's bad, Olivia said. They know it's worse than you told me. Sebastian was quiet for a moment. Yes, it's worse than I told you. How much worse? The truth is, if the treatment doesn't work, I might have a year, maybe 2, maybe less. Olivia felt like she was going to be sick. A year? You might only have a year to live. Or I might have 50 years, Sebastian said quickly. The doctors don't know for sure. Every case is different. But you're preparing for the worst. I'm hoping for the best while preparing for the worst. Olivia sat down in the chair again, her head in her hands. This is so much more complicated than I thought. I know, Sebastian said. I know it's not fair to ask you to sign up for this. I know it's not fair to ask you to potentially become a widow before you're even a wife. Don't say that, Olivia said, looking up at him. Don't talk about dying. But we have to talk about it, Sebastian said. We have to be realistic about what we might be facing. I'm not ready for this, Olivia said. I'm not ready to lose you. You're not going to lose me, Sebastian said. Not if I can help it. I'm going to fight this thing with everything I have. But what if fighting isn't enough? Sebastian was quiet for a long moment. Then at least we'll have tried. At least we'll have had whatever time we could have together. Olivia looked at him lying in the hospital bed, looking vulnerable and scared. This was the man who had protected her for 20 years. This was the man who had loved her in secret for 10 years. This was the man who was asking her to take the biggest leap of faith of her life. Sebastian, she said quietly, if I say yes, if I agree to do this, I need you to promise me something. Anything. Promise me no more lies. Promise me no more secrets. Promise me that you'll tell me everything, even if it's scary. I promise, Sebastian said. No more secrets. And promise me that we'll face whatever comes together. No matter how bad it gets, we'll face it together. I promise, Sebastian said, tears falling down his cheeks. Olivia took his hand in hers. Then yes, I'll be your girlfriend. Yes, I'll try to have your baby. Yes, I'll marry you. Yes, I'll spend whatever time we have together. Sebastian's face lit up with joy. Really? You mean it? I mean it, Olivia said. I love you, Sebastian. I think I've always loved you. And if we only have a short time together, then I want to make the most of it. Sebastian pulled her hand to his lips and kissed it. Thank you. Thank you for saying yes. Thank you for choosing me. Thank you for finally asking, Olivia said. Thank you for being brave enough to tell me how you feel. So what happens now? Sebastian asked. Now we figure out how to be together, Olivia said. Now we figure out how to be a couple. Now we figure out how to make a baby and build a life together. Are you scared? Sebastian asked. Terrified, Olivia said, but also excited, also hopeful. Me too, Sebastian said. I'm scared of what might happen, but I'm more excited about what we might build together. Dr. Harrison knocked on the door. Is it okay if I come in? Yes, Olivia said. We need to talk about treatment options. Dr. Harrison sat down again. The good news is that we caught this early enough that treatment is still possible. The bad news is that we need to be aggressive, and we need to start immediately. What kind of treatment? Olivia asked. Chemotherapy, radiation, possibly surgery. It's going to be tough, but it's our best shot at stopping the progression. And what about having children? Olivia asked, her cheeks turning red. We need to move quickly, Dr. Harrison said. If you're serious about having a child together, we need to start trying within the next few weeks, before the treatment begins. Olivia looked at Sebastian, who was watching her carefully. We're serious, she said. We want to have a child together. Then I suggest you start trying as soon as possible, Dr. Harrison said. And I suggest you consider getting married sooner rather than later. If Sebastian's condition worsens, there might be legal complications if you're not married. How soon? Sebastian asked. I'd say within the next 2 weeks, Dr. Harrison said. Before we start the intensive treatment. Olivia felt her head spinning. 2 weeks? You want us to get married in 2 weeks? I want you to be legally protected, Dr. Harrison said. I want you to be able to make medical decisions for each other if necessary. I want your future child to be legally protected. After Dr. Harrison left, Olivia and Sebastian sat in silence for a while. The weight of everything they were facing was starting to sink in. 2 weeks, Olivia said finally. We're going to get married in 2 weeks. Are you okay with that? Sebastian asked. I don't know, Olivia said honestly. I always imagined having a long engagement, planning a big wedding, having time to prepare. We can still have a beautiful wedding, Sebastian said. It will just be smaller and sooner. And then we start trying for a baby immediately. Only if you want to, Sebastian said. Only if you're ready. Olivia looked at him. This man who had been her best friend for 20 years and was now asking her to be his wife. I'm not ready for any of this, but I'm choosing to do it anyway. Why? Sebastian asked. Because I love you, Olivia said. Because I want to be with you. Because I want to have your children and build a life with you. Even if it might be shorter than we hoped. And if the treatment doesn't work, if I get sicker, then we'll face that together, Olivia said. We'll make the most of whatever time we have. Sebastian smiled through his tears. I love you so much, Olivia. I love you so much it hurts. I love you too, Olivia said. And I'm going to show you just how much every single day. So we're really doing this? Sebastian asked. We're really getting married in 2 weeks? We're really doing this, Olivia said. We're going to have the fastest courtship in history. And then we're going to start trying for a baby. And then we're going to fight this illness together. And then we're going to live happily ever after, Sebastian said. I hope so, Olivia said. I really hope so. As they sat in the hospital room, holding hands and planning their future, neither of them could have imagined what was about to happen. Neither of them could have predicted that their journey was about to take another shocking turn. Because what they didn't know was that Sebastian's ex-girlfriend, Charlotte, had been watching them from the hallway. Charlotte, who had dated Sebastian 2 years ago and had never gotten over him. Charlotte, who had heard about his diagnosis through mutual friends and had been planning to win him back. And when Charlotte saw Olivia in Sebastian's hospital room, wearing what looked like an engagement ring, she realized she was too late. But Charlotte wasn't the type of woman to give up without a fight. She was about to make their lives much more complicated than they ever imagined.